This video is about the Alpha loved the Luna's sister and his kingdom fell into chaos. If the story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung low in the ink-black sky, casting a silver glow over the great forest of Elrose. Trees whispered secrets of ancient magic, and the air thickened with the scent of pine and something more primal tension. Tonight was the night of the full moon, sacred to all werewolf packs, but within the heart of the Dregon pack, a storm brewed. Alpha Kaelan stood at the edge of the clearing, his powerful frame silhouetted against the shimmering moonlight. His furrowed brow deepened as he watched the gathered wolves, their eyes glowing bright with anticipation. They were ready to celebrate, but his heart felt heavy. Kaelan, a soft voice broke through his reverie. He turned to see Lyra, the Luna of the Dregon pack, stepping forward. Her beauty was ethereal, a blend of strength and grace, but it was her sister, Lyra, who occupied Kaelan's thoughts. Lyra, he replied, his voice low. Tonight is meant for unity, yet something stirs within me. You were worried about the Silverclaw pack, she interrupted, her luminous gaze piercing through the shadows. They will not dare to challenge us during the moon's embrace. No, it is not them, he murmured, the truth clawing at his heart. It is Lyra. Lyra's tone was flat, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of understanding. You mustn't let her distract you, as a Luna, Your sister is a part of this pack too, Lyra, Kaelan interjected, his voice rising. She deserves to be heard, to have a place among us. Lyra's expression hardened, and for a moment the years of their bond felt fragile. But not as a mate to an alpha, you know the laws, Kaelan, it is forbidden. Laws made by those who fear the power of love, he replied, his heart pounding with frustration. But love isn't a weakness, it is our greatest strength. Before Lyra could respond, a rustle in the bushes drew their attention. Lyra emerged, her presence like a tempest. Long dark hair fell in waves around her shoulders, and her amber eyes sparkled with defiance. Lyra, Kaelan breathed, his heart racing. Alpha. She nodded, but her tone was cool. Luna. She acknowledged Lyra, but her gaze never left Kaelan, igniting something deep within him, a yearning that defied logic. Why are you here? Lyra asked, her voice taut with tension. The gathering will begin soon. I can be hidden in the shadows, Lyra replied, a fire igniting in her words. I have a right to stand among our pack. Kaelan stepped closer, sensing the storm brewing around them. You belong here, Lyra. You are a part of this family. Family, she scoffed, eyes glinting with unspoken pain. I am always just the sister of the Luna, never my own person. You do never look at me that way. Look at you. Kaelan felt the weight of her words. Lyra, I see you. I see your strength, your passion. You are more than just Lyra's sister. And yet, here I stand, yearning for something I can never have. Her voice broke, and for a moment, vulnerability flashed across her features, making her all the more enchanting. Tonight we celebrate, Lyra said, trying to maintain control. We must focus on the pack, not personal desires. A low growl rumbled from the edge of the clearing, and the wolves turned toward the sound. The Silverclaw pack had arrived, their alpha, Rylan, stepping forward with an arrogance only a rival could possess. Ah, the mighty Dregon, Rylan smirked, his eyes roving over the gathered wolves. I trust you are ready for challenge? Kaelan stepped forward, muscles taut, primal instincts flaring. We are not here for your games, Rylan. We acknowledge the bond of our packs. Banter? Rylan laughed, but there was malice in it. I sense a fracture in your ranks. The Luna's sister, what a delightful distraction. Perhaps I should claim her as my own. Kaelan's breath caught, fury bubbling to the surface. You'll not touch her. Protective, aren't we? Rylan taunted, but there was a glimmer of uncertainty in his eyes. Let us see how strong your love is when chaos reigns. Enough. Lyra's voice sliced through the tension. This is not the time for petty squabbles. We are bound by the moon, not by your rivalry. Rylan's eyes narrowed, a wicked grin spreading across his face. Ah, but the moon reveals truths. Are you willing to gamble your pack's future on a bond that may not be as strong as you believe? Leave, Kaelan growled, stepping forward. This is your only warning. Very well, Rylan replied, his voice laced with malice. But mark my words, Kaelan, I will expose the weaknesses of Dregon, starting with the Luna's heart. As the Silverclaw pack retreated, the atmosphere grew tense. Kaelan turned to Lyra, his heart pounding, the pull of their unspoken bond almost unbearable. Are you all right? Will I ever be? Lyra whispered, tears glistening in her eyes. I feel like a shadow in my own life. Then step out of the shadows, Kaelan urged, leaning in closer, their breaths mingling in the cool night air. You have the strength to claim your place. Together, we could... Together? Naira interrupted, anguish lacing her voice. You think you can have me without breaking the very laws that bind you? Love knows no law, he replied, stepping closer, his heart racing against the rules of the pack. Kaelana. Lyra's voice broken. I can't ignore what I feel, Lyra, he said, meeting her gaze with defiance. Naira deserves more. She deserves freedom. Freedom to be with the Alpha? Lyra's voice trembled with hurt. You would risk our pack for her. I would risk everything for love, he declared, the words bursting from his lips like fire. And it's a risk I must take. Naira stepped back, her heart racing, torn between desire and duty. But what of the pack? What of the chaos Rylan has sown? Kaelan reached for her hand, his grip firm yet gentle. Together, we can face anything. Love is a force no one can tame, not even Rylan. Are you willing to bear the weight of our choices? Naira asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I would carry the world for you, he promised, and in that moment, the night air shimmered with unspoken magic, binding their fates together under the watchful gaze of the moon. But the peace was fleeting. As they stood on the precipice of something profound, the shadows of their pack began to murmur, the winds of destiny whispering warnings of betrayal and the chaos that loomed on the horizon. Even as hearts entwine, the darkness encroached, threatening to unravel the very fabric of their world. And somewhere, hidden in the depths of the forest, a sinister plot began to unfurl, ready to shatter the bonds of love and loyalty. The moon glowed brighter, a witness to their secrets and the chaos that would soon ensue. Kaelin knew they were standing at the edge of a precipice, where love, courage, and destiny would either weave a new tale or unravel everything they held dear. The full moon hung heavy overhead, illuminating the clearing like a silvery beacon of hope in the darkness. The air crackled with tension, and the shadows danced ominously, whispering of chaos yet to come. Kaelan's heart pounded, each beat echoing the weight of his decisions. Naira stood before him, her amber eyes shimmering with uncertainty, and he felt an intense urge to bridge the distance that separated them. I never wanted this, Kaelan, she said softly, her voice a quivering whisper. To feel like this, like I am a part of something I can belong to. Then let me show you that you belong, Naira. He stepped closer, desperate to break the invisible barriers that kept them apart. You're a force of nature. You ignite something in me that I thought was lost. But I am not your Luna, she replied, her words laced with sorrow. Lyra will never accept me. I am just a sister, an obstacle in your path. An obstacle? Kaelan shook his head, frustration bubbling to the surface. You are not an obstacle. You read my truth. Love doesn't follow the rules of our world. It leads us to places we never imagined. Lyra's voice pierced the moment, a fragile thread woven through the fabric of their connection. Kaelan, stop. This isn't the place for your desires. The pack needs stability, not chaos. Stability? Kaelan scoffed, his gaze locking onto Lyra's. What kind of stability exists when I am breaking my own heart to live within these constraints, when my soul craves Naira? Lyra flinched, her eyes betraying hurt. And what of our bond, our commitment? You would throw it away for what? A fleeting moment of passion? It is not fleeting, he shouted, his voice reverberating through the clearing. It is a fire, Lyra, one that burns deep, and I refuse to extinguish it. Do you even consider the ramifications? Lyra's voice quivered, a mixture of anger and disappointment. Rylan will exploit this weakness. He'll tear us apart. Then let him try, Kaelan said, his resolve hardening. I'll face him head on if it means protecting what I believe in. I'll fight for you, Naira. Fight for me? Naira's voice cracked, a storm of emotions swirling within her. And risk everything? What if I am not deserving of that fight? Don't you dare say that, Kaelan stepped forward, his intensity igniting the air between them. You are everything. You are brave, powerful, and worthy of love, my love. Tears glistened in Naira's eyes, and the tender vulnerability drew Kaelan closer, their souls entwining. But how do I know this won't end in ruin? How do I know we are not destined for heartbreak? Because destiny is what we make of it, he replied, his voice slow and earnest. Together, we can shape our world. Before Naira could respond, the rustling of leaves drew their attention. Emerging from the shadows, Rylan stepped forward, eyes gleaming with malice, an unsettling smile stretching across his lips. What a lovely reunion, he jeered, glancing between the two with an air of mockery. Leave us, Rylan, Kaelan growled. You have no place here. Though, but I do, Rylan replied, swaggering closer. Your little love affair is the talk of the night. It stirs the winds, and I am here to guide the storm. Kaelan felt his blood boil. I'm not so discord in my pack. I stand by Naira. Do you hear that, Naira? Rylan's voice dripped with sarcasm. Kaelin stands by you. How noble. But what happens when the storm brews and your beloved Alpha is swept away? Naira stepped back, fear flickering in her eyes. Kaelin, we can let him provoke us. This is what he wants. Let him try, Kaelin said, a fierce determination in his tone. We will not bow to threats. We stand united. Rylan chuckled darkly. United? Then allow me to illuminate the truth. Your bond is already in disarray. The pack senses weakness, and they will turn on you, Kaelin. I'll endure it. Enough. Lyra interjected, her voice commanding the attention of the gathered wolves. We will not play into Rylan's games. We are stronger than this. Kaelin nodded, feeling the weight of Lyra's words. We must show the pack that our bonds are unbreakable. Love is what binds us, and I want to let Rylan's darkness extinguish that light. Rylan's eyes narrowed, a glimmer of frustration crossing his features. Very well, but the tides turn quickly, Alpha. Mistakes will be made, and I will be waiting. With a final mocking grin, Rylan retreated back into the shadows from which he came, leaving behind an air of uncertainty. The clearing felt heavy, the atmosphere charged with unspoken fears. Kaelin, Naira whispered, her voice trembling. What if Rylan is right? What if I am the cause of our downfall? You are not a cause of destruction. You are my hope, he replied vehemently, reaching for her hand, intertwining their fingers. We will face whatever comes together, I promise you that. Together, she echoed, squeezing his hand as warmth coursed through her. But what if our love becomes a weapon against the very pack we seek to protect? Then we'll wield it wisely, he said, fire igniting in his eyes. We'll show them that love can conquer fear, that it creates strength instead of division. Lyra's gaze softened as she watched them, torn between her duty as Luna and her love for her sister. You both are brave, but bravery alone cannot shield us from the consequences. Then we'll confront those consequences together, Naira declared, determination filling her voice. No more hiding. I will stand by Kaelin, and we will fight for our place. Fight for your place, Lyra echoed, her heart heavy. But remember, the path of love is fraught with challenges. The heart is fragile. Kaelin stepped closer, his voice resolute. Then let us forge our hearts into something unbreakable. Let us create a strength that the pack cannot ignore. As they stood united under the moonlit sky, the forest around them seemed to respond, whispering ancient incantations that bound their fates together. Kaelin felt the pull of destiny, a force swirling around them like the wind, urging them forward. But deep within the heart of the Elder's forest, shadows stirred, plotting against their love. Betrayal simmered beneath the surface, and the pack's loyalty hung in the balance. Rylan's words echoed in Kaelin's mind, warning of the chaos ahead. Do you feel that? Naira asked, her voice a soft murmur as she leaned against him, searching his gaze for reassurance. I do, he replied, feeling the weight of the world pressing down upon them. But we will not falter, we will rise above the chaos together. Their connection deepened, a bond forged in the fires of adversity. And as they stood beneath the moon's watchful gaze, the winds of fate began to shift, weaving a tapestry of love, struggle, and destiny that would forever change the course of their lives. The battle was on the horizon, and as Kaelin looked into Naira's eyes, he felt the irrefutable truth. Love was their greatest weapon, their strongest shield. They would face whatever darkness lay ahead, their hearts beating in time, united against the chaos that threatened to tear them apart. But in this magical realm, where the lines between love and duty blurred, they knew that even the strongest hearts could be tested, and the winds of fate might lead them down paths they never could have imagined. The moon hung like a guardian in the sky, an unblinking eye watching over the Dragon pack as uncertainty crackled through the air. Kaelin stood with Naira, their hands entwined, feeling the weight of unspoken fears and the promise of their love. We can let Rylan's words poison what we have, Kaelin said, determination igniting his voice. Our love is stronger than any threat he can muster. Naira's brow furrowed, her heart a tumultuous sea. But what if it isn't he? What if I am the reason our pack falls apart, the reason you lose everything? Kaelin stepped closer, the heat of his body radiating comfort. You are not a burden, you are my anchor. We can face anything, Naira, together. Together, she echoed, swallowing the knot in her throat. With every word he spoke, her heart soared, yet the shadows of doubt lingered, threatening to suffocate the light they had found. Tonight, we need to show the pack our unity, Kaelin continued, his voice steady. We must stand as one, not just to defend our love, but to strengthen the Dragon pack. Lyra, watching from a distance, felt the turmoil of emotions inside her. The love she bore for Kaelin battled with the fierce protectiveness she felt for Naira. You both need to be cautious, she cautioned, stepping forward. The pack is already restless. Rylan's words had spread like wildfire. Then we will extinguish that fire together, Kaelin replied, his gaze fierce. I won't let fear tear us apart tonight at the gathering. I will declare my bond with Naira. Mel? Lyra interjected, a tremor in her voice. You can think of the consequences. If you challenge the very laws that bind our packs, you risk everything. Everything is already at stake, Lyra. Kaelin's voice rose, filled with urgency. Rylan is exploiting our fears. We have to show them what love truly means, what loyalty looks like. Love doesn't negate the rules, Lyra said, her eyes flashing with a mixture of hurt and frustration. If you stand against tradition, you risk the pack's loyalty. They will see you as a traitor. And what if I choose love over tradition? Kaelin pressed, his heart racing. What if love is the very thing that brings us together rather than tears us apart? Lyra's face paled as she took a step back, grappling with the truth of his words. You be playing a dangerous game, Kaelin. Rylan will not back down easily. Let him try, Naira interjected, her voice trembling yet resolute. I refuse to hide in the shadows any longer. I will not be the source of chaos. If I am to stand with Kaelin, I will do so with pride. Kaelin's heart swelled at her courage, the fire in her amber eyes reflecting the bravery he admired. Yes, Naira, together, we will show the pack our strength. We will prove to them that love is not a weakness, but a bond that makes us powerful. Powerful, Lyra echoed, her heart aching as she watched her sister's resolve strengthen. But power can corrupt. Are you both prepared for the fallout? Whatever comes, we will face it, Kaelin vowed, his grip on Naira tightening. I refuse to let fear govern our hearts. As they stood in their resolve, a distant howl echoed through the forest, sending a shiver down their spines. It was a call to arms, a summoning of the pack. The time for unity or division had arrived. The clearing where the gathering would take place was alive with anticipation. Wolves from across the tree-gone pack began to fill the space, their eyes flickering with whispers of uncertainty as they sensed the tension moving through the air. Kaelin's heart raced as he caught sight of Rylan lurking at the edge, a predator waiting to strike. Let us do this, Naira whispered, taking a deep breath, a flicker of fear crossing her features. Together, Kaelin promised, and with that, they stepped into the glow of the moon, determined to forge their fate. Lyra stood at the forefront, her gaze sweeping over the gathered wolves. Tonight, we gather under the full moon to celebrate our unity as a pack, she declared, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. The pack responded with howls, but beneath the surface, murmurs of doubt rippled through the ranks. And we must address the challenges that threaten our bond, she continued, her gaze locking onto Kaelin and Naira, urging them forward. Kaelin took a deep breath, his heart pounding with each step, Naira beside him. Ak, he began, his voice booming with authority. Tonight, I stand before you to declare my loyalty to my pack and to love itself. Gasps echoed through the crowd. Kaelin, what are you doing? Lyra whispered, panic lacing her voice. I am claiming my truth, he replied, his gaze darting to Naira, her eyes wide with shock and awe. Naira is not just Lyra's sister, she is strong, brave, and deserving of love. Love it? A voice rang out from the crowd. You would risk everything for a forbidden bond? Kaelin turned to face the source, a wolf with a hardened gaze. Everything is already at stake. Love is what binds us, it is what gives us the strength to face our enemies. And what of tradition? Another voice challenged. What of the laws that have governed us for centuries? Tradition must evolve, Kaelin proclaimed, his heart pounding with conviction. If we are to thrive, we must embrace change, the kind that love brings. Rylan stepped forward, a smirk playing on his lips. Ah, Kaelin, how noble, but love alone won't save you from the chaos your choices have caused. The pack will see you as a traitor before long. Kaelin's jaw clenched, the threat hanging in the air like a storm cloud. I would rather be a traitor for love than a prisoner of fear. Naira felt the weight of every gaze upon her, but the strength in Kaelin's voice steadied her resolve. I stand with him, she declared, her voice unwavering. I refuse to hide any longer. If love is a crime, then I will face the consequences. Gasps filled the clearing, disbelief and admiration intertwining in the air. The pack murmured among themselves, uncertainty lingering in their eyes. Are you both truly prepared to let love guide your decisions? Lyra asked, her voice trembling with concern. The pack may not accept this. If they cannot accept the power of love, then maybe they are not the pack I believe them to be, Kaelin replied, a fire igniting in his gaze. We are stronger together. Love is our greatest weapon. Love her. Rylan sneered, stepping forward once more. How quaint, but what happens when that love leads to betrayal? What happens when it is used against you? Caelan met Rylan's gaze boldly. Then let it come, we will face betrayal not as victims but as warriors united in our love. The atmosphere shifted, the pack's murmurs growing louder, uncertainty morphing into a palpable tension. Enough. Lyra roared, her authority slicing through the chaos. This gathering was meant for unity, not division. We stand as one, or we fall together. But how can we trust? Her voice cried from the crowd. How can we follow an alpha who defies the very laws that bind us? Caelan stepped forward, his heart pounding in his chest. You can trust in our bond, he declared. Trust in the love that fuels us. Love is not a weakness, it is our strength. Rylan's eyes glinted with malice, and in that moment, Caelan felt the winds of destiny shift. Very well, Caelan, if love is your weapon, then let us see how strong it truly is when chaos reigns. With those words, Rylan turned, vanishing into the depths of the forest, the shadows swallowing him whole. The air felt electric with tension, a storm on the horizon. Caelan turned to Nara, his heart racing. We will face whatever comes together, he promised, the weight of the world pressing down upon them. Together, she echoed, her voice filled with conviction. No more hiding, I will stand by you, no matter the chaos that unfolds. As the gathering began to disperse, anxiety hung thick in the air. Pack members exchanged hurried whispers, uncertainty lingering like a dark cloud. Do you think they'll accept us? Nara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I believe they will, Caelan replied, though doubt gnawed at the edges of his heart. We are stronger than fear. We will show them that love can unite us. The night deepened, shadows weaving through the trees, a reflection of the chaos that loomed ahead. As they stood together under the watchful gaze of the moon, Caelan felt the weight of destiny pressing upon them. Are you ready? He asked, searching Nara's eyes for reassurance. Ready to face whatever comes, she replied, her grip on his hand tightening. As the last echoes of murmurs faded into the night, the weight of uncertainty settled heavily on the clearing. The moon illuminated Caelan and Nara, their entwined fingers a testament to their shared resolve. Yet shadows lingered, whispering of the chaos they would face. Caelan, Nara began, her voice trembling as she looked into his eyes. What if the love we share is not enough? What if it leads to our ruin? Caelan stepped closer, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. Love is always enough, Nara. It is the foundation of our strength. We will weather this storm together, I promise you. But Rylan's words, she said, biting her lip, they were already taking root in the pack. Doubt is a dangerous seed. A rustling in the underbrush interrupted their moment, and Caelan instinctively stepped in front of Nara, his protective instincts flaring. They turned to see Lyra emerging from the shadows, her expression a mix of concern and determination. You must be prepared for what comes next, Lyra warned, her voice steady yet laced with concern. The pack is uneasy, and Rylan will exploit that. Caelan nodded, his resolve hardening. Then we will take the fight to him, Lyra. We will show the pack that love's power can unite us against the chaos he sows. A flicker of conflict crossed Lyra's face. But what if your declaration pushed them further away? What if it leads to a fracture in our ranks? Nara's heart raced, worry pooling in her stomach. We cannot afford to lose the pack, Caelan. They are our family. Family, Caelan echoed, the word heavy on his heart. And family should support each other. If they cannot see the strength in our love, then maybe they need to be reminded of what it truly means to be a part of this pack. Lyra stepped forward, her gaze unwavering. You are playing a dangerous game, Caelan, one that could cost you everything. And what will it cost us to hide the truth? Caelan's voice rang with conviction. To deny the bond that has formed between Nara and me, I refuse to allow fear to dictate our future. Nara felt a surge of courage at his words, their shared dreams igniting a flame within her. I will not hide any longer, she declared, her voice rising above the shadows of doubt. If we are to lead, we must do so openly. We must stand tall against Rylan's deceit. Lyra's expression softened, a mixture of pride and fear flashing across her features. I admire your bravery, both of you, but remember, the path we choose may lead us into treacherous territory. Then we will face that territory together, Caelan replied, taking Nara's hand firmly in his. We are bound by more than just blood. We are bound by destiny. The moon cast a silvery glow around them, illuminating their resolve. But as they prepared to face the storm ahead, the undercurrents of chaos stirred in the depths of the forest, waiting for the right moment to strike. As dawn broke, the sun's rays filtered through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. The Dregon pack assembled in the clearing, tension thick in the air. Caelan stood at the forefront, his heart pounding in anticipation. The challenge lay ahead, but he knew he had Naira beside him, their fates intertwined. Back, KLN began, raising his voice to carry over the crowd. We gather here today to confront the chaos that threatens our unity. Love is what binds us, and it is love that will guide us through these trials. A murmur of uncertainty rippled through the wolves, but KLN continued, driven by a force greater than himself. We stand against the darkness that seeks to divide us. Together, we will rise above the fear. Naira stepped forward, her heart racing but her resolve unwavering. I stand beside KLN, not as Lyra's sister but as a member of this pack. My love for him only strengthens our bond and our purpose. Gasps of shock echoed around them, surprise etched on the faces of the pack members. You dare defy tradition? One wolf shouted, his voice filled with disbelief. You would risk everything for a forbidden love? KLN turned to face him, his expression fierce. It is not a matter of defiance, but a matter of truth. Love does not bind us, it frees us. We must evolve if we are to survive. But Rylan will take advantage of this, another voice cried. We cannot trust that this will not tear us apart. I would rather face betrayal and chaos than live in fear of it, KLN replied, his voice steady. We will not be victims of Rylan's deceit. We will stand united. Rylan emerged from the shadows, a smug smile on his lips. Oh, how noble. But tell me, KLN, do you truly believe that the love you cherish can withstand the test ahead? What happens when the winds of fate turn against you? KLN felt the tension escalating, and he glanced at Naira, finding strength in her gaze. The winds may be fierce, Rylan, but love is our anchor. We will weather any storm together. Rylan laughed, the sound dark and mocking. Let us see how long that love holds when the pack starts to question your leadership, when they begin to wonder if your decisions are clouded by this infatuation. The crowd murmured, doubt creeping back in like shadows. KLN's heart raced. You may sow seeds of doubt, Rylan, but love is a force that cannot be easily broken. It binds us in ways you cannot comprehend. Ah, but history teaches us otherwise, doesn't it? Rylan smirked, his gaze flicking between KLN and Naira. When love leads to chaos, it often ends in ruin. I will not let that happen, Naira said firmly, stepping to the forefront. If I'm to be a part of this pack, then I will stand beside KLN and fight for our love. Gasps echoed around them, the pack's eyes widening with surprise. KLN felt a surge of pride at Naira's courage, the fire within her igniting his own. Then let them see our strength, he declared, his heart racing. Let them witness the power of love, a bond that can conquer any darkness. Lyra stepped forward, her voice firm yet compassionate. You both are brave, but remember, we are bound by tradition as well as love. The consequences of your choices may be dire. Then let us face those consequences together, KLN urged, his voice steady. Together, we can reshape our pack's destiny. Rylan's eyes glittered with malice. Very well, if love is your weapon, I will be waiting to see how it fares against betrayal. As Rylan retreated into the shadows, a hush fell over the crowd. The pack's gaze shifted between KLN and Naira, uncertainty lingering in the air. Will you stand with us? KLN asked, his voice earnest. Will you embrace the power of love and unity, or will you let fear divide us? Silence enveloped the clearing, but slowly, one by one, wolves began to step forward, determination shining in their eyes. I stand with KLN and Naira, a voice rang out, followed by others echoing the sentiment. The murmurs transformed into a chorus of support, love igniting hope in the hearts of the pack. As the sun rose higher, illuminating the clearing with golden light, KLN felt the weight of destiny shift. Together, they would face whatever chaos awaited. Together, they would forge a new path. But as the pack began to unite, the winds of fate whispered warnings, and the shadows of betrayal lurked ever closer, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Later that evening, as the stars twinkled overhead, KLN and Naira found a moment of quiet amidst the chaos. They stood together at the edge of the clearing, the moon casting a gentle glow over them. Do you think we did the right thing? Naira asked, her voice barely above a whisper. KLN turned to her, his heart swelling with love and uncertainty. We followed our hearts, and that is what matters. No matter what happens next, we stand united. But Rylan will not rest, she replied, her brow furrowed with concern. He'll gather forces to challenge us. We'll be ready, KLN promised, brushing his thumb over her knuckles. We've already faced so much, and we've come out stronger. Love is worth fighting for. Naira looked up at him, searching his eyes for reassurance. But what if it leads to more chaos? What if our love becomes the very thing that tears the pack apart? Then we'll fight for it, he responded, his voice steady. We'll show them that love is the strongest bond we have. We will not let Rylan's darkness extinguish our light. Tears glistened in Naira's eyes, and she stepped closer, her heart aching with emotion. I fear the consequences, Kaelin, but I refuse to hide. I believe in us. Kaelin wrapped his arms around her, drawing her close. We'll weather any storm, Naira. I